Welcome back, heroes. Thank you so much
Oh no!
for sticking with us through our break. We've had some ridiculousness happening. When last we saw our heroes, they were at Redshift Energies trying to stop a bunch of stormers from making off with something. Crucible did the very wise and noble thing of putting his telepathy-resistant helmet on one of the mind-controlled stormers and immediately got controlled. At which point he flew off with a big canister of something. Our heroes did manage to take down several of the villains, but Tenfold and the unconscious body of Chain managed to escape, as did Crucible. On the other hand, they now have with them a very terrified 14-year-old kid who has the power to create localized singularities. Professor Cephalopod was notifying everybody on the planet about the fact that Crucible is
not everybody on the planet.
Right. Portal was going to attempt to do some weird power stunt. Dr. Irons is still talking to the kid. And Keone, you had a plan to do something, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. My plan was I was going to come over, jump out of the window, land next to the kid, put my hand around his throat, shove him against the wall, and scream, "Tell me where he went," aggressively in his face.
Would you say he's being...
Be ready for Carol to do the exact same thing to you.
Do I know where he's going?
You have no idea.
I don't even know. You don't even know who she's. You don't even know who she's talking about.
I don't know what you want, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Please don't throttle me.
Keone, put him down. Put him down.
Gently slide him down the wall and release him.
Your not boyfriend just tried to kill him. Your
What?
not boyfriend is not our friend right now. Don't harm the child that did not know anything that was going on. That's unfair. Do you want your grandmother here spanking you all of a sudden because of actions you couldn't control? Because that's what you just did to this poor kid. Stop it.
I am not a grandma.
How is that what you just took away from that comment?
I mean, to be fair, that's what I took away from it.
Yeah.
Fucking kids.
The only part, Keone doesn't care. Keone just wants to fix what's happening. And then she just takes a breath and just like walks away with her back turned to everybody.
So I'm
Just,
assuming
like,
we've collected the 3 survivors?
Yes.
Or 3 knocked out ones plus the kid?
Yeah, you should have Crux.
One of them is a
White Washout and Ghost.
bleeding into a wall.
So the water one, the punchy, stabby one.
No punchy, just stabby. Glowing
Oh,
knives.
I thought he was also punchy.
Yeah.
The ghost
just
one.
Stabby.
Yep.
And the kid.
And the kid.
I forgot about him.
So 4 of the 6. All right.
Yeah.
In my messages to Aegis, pick up at the tower. And I will suggest that we go to the tower.
Do you wish to go to the tower? You did tell the told Trevor to come down to the offices to
Figure out what was taken.
Yeah.
Does he need us here for that?
No.
Should we like leave a note or something?
I already have. I just feel like we need to secure the controlled ones.
Well, Crucible. Portal, that's my character's name, is going to need a minute because when you look over to him, his eyes are closed and he is intensely concentrating.
Okay.
I mean, so, never mind.
So for the sake of it being a wash, I'm not going to ask for the hero point to do the stunt because it's not going to work. So I'm going to give you a hero point for the stunt not working. So it's a wash.
Yep.
Do you need help taking these guys wherever they need to go? I can make portals.
It's the side eye. The side eye that I give him.
You could probably rest. We have a portal maker right there, and he is very good at his job.
He looks like he got stabbed pretty good.
I will leave one of my larger, more obvious spy bots to wait for whatever his name is to get there, because I can talk to him through it.
Sure.
And then I feel like we need to get back to the tower. That's where most of our resources are.
I remember.
Let's go.
It was Crucible that figured out that their nanites are still active. Did he ever say that information out loud so we all knew it as well?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so then priority is absolutely getting them to the lab, like Cyrus is talking about, and then do we have any clue on how to turn them off without Crucible here?
EMPs.
Yeah.
Directed EMPs.
Okay.
Question one is trying to find a way to deactivate them. Question two is dealing with, why are they being reactivated? Sub question below that, why weren't Ethan's activated earlier?
Well, what if they were just never turned off because the kid explained that he thinks it's still October?
Well, but Ethan's most stormers we've encountered, they went inert like almost immediately after they gave the powers. This is the first scenario where we've seen them still active, and then Ethan's reactivated as soon as he took off the helmet.
Oh wait, so then is there something here in this vicinity that's turning them on?
Considering Ethan ran away with something, my guess is someone is controlling.
Do we know that?
Oh.
Do we know that Ethan's nanites were reactivated? I don't know that there's any way for us to have known that.
Yeah, I mean,
or if I don't even know mentally if that's what happened.
I mean, Portal would word it so that that's what he's presuming, because if the ones that were controlled were activated, he knew that Ethan's were inert. Then all of a sudden he got controlled. He's assuming that they got activated, but we need to figure out what is the deal with these nanites. Kind of dig into them.
And I can't do that here.
Yep, and then we need to find Ethan, so we're going to need to be at the tower for all this stuff. We need to, and I open up a portal. Go.
Are you saying there's? I'm sorry. Are you saying there's robots in me?
Come on,
yes,
kid.
son. We'll explain it later. I'll just pick you up and take you through the portal.
You still have powers without the robots.
Could Keone sense any sort of like magic or anything like that around her?
No.
Okay, so what's controlling him isn't magic.
Correct.
Okay.
Although this is actually one of the first times you've actually used your magical senses, you will notice that Dr. Irons glows like a big neon sign under magic detection.
We knew that already. We knew she was infused with Seven's magic, so.
Yep.
Still get the idea that it's like
Keone
nothing.
doesn't know
That's really bright. Ow, my eyes.
All right. Meanwhile, back at the tower,
Yep.
oh, hell is breaking loose.
Hall of
So
Doom.
you guys portal through to the tower. Nobody is currently in the tower except for Roberta.
I assume that once we arrive in the tower, Max and Riley will be headed in our direction after receiving my we got a fucking problem message.
Yeah. Whether or not they're on their way or not, you're not sure. But as soon as you guys are in the tower, Roberto's mouth opens and Max's voice comes out.
Yep.
Not right.
And he's just like, okay, explain what happened.
I will leave one of the others to explain what happened because I'm taking the bodies, the controlled ones, straight to the lab.
I'm taking. Let's go. Let's go.
Do you want me to?
I was unconscious for most of the fight, so there are probably a whole bunch of details that I don't have.
Ione, it's up to you.
Well, Tommy can explain. He was awake.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Mars.
Sorry, what? What am I doing? Hold on.
Who's the kid?
Sorry, I was half
New
listening.
recruit.
I'm a big fan. I'm wondering if you're hiring for superheroes.
He's saying all this as he's, like facing backwards as Cyrus is carrying him down the hallway.
Overwatch, yeah. Bring me up to speed. I trust that you guys know what you're up to. I'm going to meet with Riley and we're going to figure out what, if any, damage control we need to be prepared for. Call me when you know something. And then Roberta's mouth closes and she says, is there anything I can assist you with?
No, Roberta, I don't think so.
Is anyone else starving? I'm
I was
starving.
about to say, actually, Roberta, can you bring snacks and non-alcoholic beverages to the labs? I'm gonna need it. Cyrus,
Of course.
bring Cyrus some fish.
Of course.
I am going to
take
proceed.
back.
I'm going to proceed to portal pace, which what it looks like is in whatever room I'm in, there's a portal on one wall and a portal on the other wall, and I just keep walking across the room without having to change my direction.
Tommy is going to grab both Portal and Keone and drag you to both of you to the med lab to patch you up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're both kind of
I'm fine.
you've seen better
Annie
days.
just needs a snack and she'll be fine. Snack and some gin. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be
Hey,
fine.
you were staggered. You are not just fine. You're pretty banged
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you're
Sheena doesn't want anyone touching her invasively, so this will make her uncomfortable.
Will I get to remove the exhausted condition too?
Yes.
she'll get over it.
Over the length of time that you guys will be in there, you will be able to remove all your conditions.
Including all the hits, too?
Yep.
Man, I got fucked up.
Sure did.
Joe, did you tell? Did
Zero
you?
hits before I went down.
Joe,
What was
Joe, did you tell Kid Singularity what your name was before?
Dr. Irons.
Dr. Irons. Okay.
So yes, Singulariteen, you are unaware of Dr. Irons being a member of the team, but you would be aware that Bulwark is missing.
Dr. Irons, he's not taking me back here to eat me or anything, right?
No. He's technically a vegetarian. It's just the body he's in needs the fish, and that's really all he likes to eat. It's fine. Do you like sushi? I like eating sushi, and
Am I allowed to say yes in front of the? He points at the octopus.
yeah. We just went and caught fresh crabs and scallops the other day. It was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, am I allowed to eat before whatever procedure I'm about to undergo?
Are you hungry?
Are you prone to vomiting?
I don't know if I'm prone to it, but I've never had octopus surgery before.
It's not octopus surgery. It's just regular scientific spoke.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get a blood sample and like, in here, like, check your vitals. This is normal stuff. There's just no octopus involved. Well, I mean,
don't worry, you'll be conscious and be able to feel everything that happens.
Okay.
It's a good thing you're not in the room.
Right?
Sure is. All right, so
my name's Chris, by the way.
Is it short for Christopher or
Chris Angel.
Just Chris is okay.
you okay? I didn't know if there's another version. Can I do I don't know.
all right, so what are you guys trying to figure out in the lab? Let's start with that.
Specifically, are the nanites still active? Are they different than the ones that we've seen before?
Mhm.
And if they are still active, can we trace? This is what Seth is doing.
Sure.
Can we trace
A signal.
signals? He
Earl
will
is
also
checking. Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
he will also want a brain scan for all of them.
I thought you were about to say brain sample.
I
Earl
mean,
is checking the physical vitals of everyone, making sure that there's not like a crossover between whatever this brain takeover is and like their physical health.
Okay. Give me either a technology or expertise metahuman physiology.
Damn. 30.
or one of each of those.
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Scroll, damn it. Okay, there we go.
I'm going to sit here and be a good patient.
Oh, that's terrible.
Did I
I'm
hear that
rolling
right?
again.
You guys both get a 34?
Got a 30.
It's terrible. I'm rolling that again.
Okay.
Have a hero point.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? It's a 34 then. Correct?
Okay.
Correct?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Because I rolled the same thing.
Right. But it becomes a abs 10.
Yeah.
So what you are able to determine, the nanites inside of Kid Singularity or Singulariteen or Chris are currently inert.
Okay.
They seem to be identical to the samples that you took off of Bulwark and Crucible.
Okay.
The nanites are still active in the bodies of the other three.
Interesting.
You
What happens when they're removed? Like when I take a little sample.
as soon as you take them out of the body, they go inert.
Interesting.
Okay, so in all of my scans, am I seeing anything that's triggering them to turn on like extra electrolytes or neuro pathway signals, something like that?
Sure. So what you can tell is that with the nanites active, something is using them to take control of both neural process and motor functions. Without some sort of external device or process, theoretically, any stormer could be controlled in this fashion.
Okay, Seth's getting real angry now.
Mm-hmm.
There is some element to the nanite transformation which enables this control, but it isn't typical mind control like you would find from a spell or from a psionic ability. It's more like hacking a backdoor into a control mechanism that already exists.
Does this look familiar to Cyrus at all? Does this remind him of anything? Because it's pinging the player as something that would remind him of something. Something he's spent a while working on, and then he ended up in an octopus body.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay. I was like, oh, somebody's gonna go, I'm gonna hurt somebody.
But yeah, so that's basically what you can tell. Your guess is not guess. Your best hypothesis that seems to be pretty well rooted in actuality is that the elements of Crucible's helmet that prevent him from being psionically attacked interferes with the signal. That is, however, a hypothesis because you are not able to identify what frequency or what's, where the signal is coming from or how it is being transmitted.
But essentially they're hacking the nanites, not the person themselves.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I am going to ask that Tommy start on the looking for Crucible. And I am going to go directly to my own nanite, the thing I was working on, because it seems like we need it.
Yeah.
Should I just keep this on forever?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Just
for now. We'll tell you when it's safe to take it off.
I will also get the I will also get to the process of starting to make another one of those out of a non magnetic alloy. A crucible proof version.
Okay. So Chris, now that you've had a little bit of time, you still don't remember much of anything from the time that you were controlled until now. But there are brief moments and images that are kind of like coming through, almost nightmarishly, really. You see yourself training with the other stormers who were there. Although it doesn't really feel like training so much as someone who is puppeting you, figuring out, how do I use, what are the controls for this character in the video game?
Man, that sucks.
And a name does come to you, which you already have access to from what Ethan was aware of.
I remember a name of someone who was keeping me and the other ones. The commander.
Do I recognize that name at all?
The octopus, every muscle in the octopus's body twitches.
The commander was Max Mars's name as a supervillain.
Thank you.
Is that bad?
Are you 100% positive it was that exact name?
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly not good.
Is that somebody
Fiona,
you guys...
Can you go back to the kitchen? Or the med bay?
Is that somebody you guys know? Because the octopus looks like he's gonna ink.
Clean up his own mess. Child, no. Sorry.
Off-screen child.
Talking to my cat, not anyone in the game.
Off-screen child, not on-screen child.
Don't worry about who that is right now. We will get it figured out. Knowing the name is very helpful.
He was puppeting us, like I was a Super Smash Brothers character.
I don't know what those words mean, but okay.
Children played that.
I was kind of like Kirby because he kept making me swallow everything with my black holes.
You had to get that in there, didn't you, Alex?
I had to.
So what you're
Kirby's
saying
the
is,
best one.
Mario was the best one.
Samus is the best one.
Okay, well, I am so sorry that happened to you, but you are definitely you now, and no one else is going to puppet you.
Well, I want to help if I can.
Yes, you are. You absolutely are. It's just right now the best way for you to help is keep the helmet on and stay here so we can keep figuring things out. I'll be back in just a minute, and she's gonna exit and track down wherever the hell Mars is.
Okay. How are you planning to do that?
I don't know, because she gets lost so easily. She's gonna march out into the hallway, and is there any kind of intercom system to talk to Roberta?
I'd say your communicators can
Great.
access Roberta.
Roberta, can you please give me a location on Max and help me find him?
Of course.
Great.
Mr. Mars and Miss Blackwell are located within the tower down on the 4th floor in his offices.
Private channel to Carol. Keep that to yourself. I mean, go ahead and do what you're about to do, but keep the... No one else on the team should know right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I'm very nervously pressing the down button on the elevator.
You'll actually have to go down to the lobby and then take the regular elevator to get to the 4th floor, but
Great, she's so confused.
because the elevator's up to your floor is an express elevator that just goes to the lobby.
So I go down to go up. Oh, it's Dragon Con all over again.
Yeah, kind of. Go down to go up.
To go up.
Tommy will, will come over the comms and say, "Hey, Professor C and Dr. Irons, I've patched up Keone and Peter. They'll both be okay. I think they need some rest, but they'll be all right. Closed circuit cameras showed Ethan flying out to the west, out past the land over the ocean, and obviously kind of lost him at that point."
Yes, because I could go talk to some fish.
I mean, I guess. So
I can do that. West, at least we have. Is that the direction that the team at the docks headed once they thought we were out?
refresh the GM's memory.
During
you
the
had the 4 different things we had to take care
during
of.
the everything happening everywhere all at once.
Right.
Crucible and Seth went to the docks to stop them from taking the crate of weapons.
Yeah. No, they were still kind of staying within the Bay area. They weren't going out into the ocean.
Okay.
So you guys weren't in position to see where they were headed, but your guess would have been that there was probably a cargo ship waiting for them out there.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. You will also get a message from I want to say his name is Trevor. I'm blanking on it at the moment, but the head of Redshift, who says, so it took some digging, but apparently there was a canister of nanites in one of the storage areas.
What kind? Actually, semi-specs. The little robot, the little spy bot it's talking.
Sure, I can do that. What you should know is that this canister shouldn't have been on the facilities.
That sounds like a thing that happens a lot around there.
There was some computer glitch that rerouted it from a off-site storage area that is where we had moved all of the nanites following the Silver Storm. This shouldn't have been in our building.
You guys, your cybersecurity sucks.
Yeah, I feel like you are not that trustworthy of a company anymore.
I don't know how we recover from this, but we should be better than this. We have good people in cybersecurity. I recruited many of them myself. I don't know how this happened.
The best way to probably try to recover some of your company's and personal reputation is start finding answers to help.
I also suggest a complete temporary shutdown of Redshift's operations. They clearly have a backdoor into your
The phrase
processes.
massive security liability comes to mind.
You're certainly welcome to use our systems and see if you can find the back door.
I have, it's on my list.
I took control of this company because I thought we could make a difference and help this planet. And now it seems like everything is just...
Any kind of enemies that would want to like mess things up and put you on the hook for it? So this isn't simply incompetence.
I mean, we have, professional rivals, of course, but no one who I would believe would do this. Although I know that Mr. Mars certainly has powerful enemies. I suppose it's possible that someone could be attacking him through us. Although he's so well insulated, we're such a tiny part of the Mars Tech portfolio. I mean, we could shut down entirely and he would barely, their stock would barely take a hit. of course, anything I can do to help. We'll have to shut down for the short term anyways to repair the damage that was done to the building. Just let me know if there's anything I can do.
Keep us informed. You can reach us through the bot, and then it just kind of shuts down.
Okay. Carol, yeah, you're able to take the elevator down and then up and go to Mars's office. When you get there, Mars and Riley are, they've got several laptops and tablets open in front of them, and basically talking about, all right, well, there is a precedent set in Freedom City for mind control of heroes, so this isn't something that we can't recover from. And they just both turn and look as you come in, and Dr. Irons, is there something we can do for you?
Only as possible, shut the door and be like, you're lucky that took me so long. I'm less angry. Need you to shut all of the anything off that can record anything.
He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a phone, and taps a couple of buttons, and that should shut down all recording devices.
So the kid that you saw was, he's a stormer, and he was one of the ones that was breaking into Red Labs. And he's been mind controlled for the past months, since 2 weeks after the original storm. And he is getting flashes of memories back of someone named I am terrible with names. Just that is a Joe problem.
The commander.
Thank you. He said the name of the commander. And I'm here to discuss this directly with you, sir, because no matter what world I've ever been on, you have still been.
Wait. Miss Blackwell, could you excuse us for a moment? I'll go get some coffee.
High tea for me, please.
I'll go stand behind the door and listen.
And she leaves. It is not common knowledge that that was my name. I would prefer it not become public.
Do you understand where I'm coming from then?
Of course, but
your suit is supposed to be in whatever that museum thing is, right?
correct.
What other person is going to be walking around declaring themselves that name if it's not you?
I don't know. But I certainly want to find out. Someone using my name, attacking one of my companies. This isn't the reason I funded the Stormbreakers, but it is exactly for this kind of thing that I wanted you to be here and be present.
It can't be that's not a directed me. That's a royal you or whatever it's called.
Yes, the entire team.
Right. Mars, I'm used to. Did not trust at all. I did not like the man very much. So I would put it past him to choreograph these situations. And I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Carol, I retired from being a supervillain because I realized that I could get everything I wanted legitimately. I fought alongside the Freedom League to keep Omega and the Terminus forces out of this universe. I fought alongside you. I suppose that you're correct, that if I had some grand plan to take over the world by method of mind controlling everybody with nanites, I could have orchestrated all of this. And all it would cost me is everything that I actually care about. You are welcome to make an insight check if you would like.
Yeah, I mean, she's believing him. I am 21.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, he is being 100% honest.
So
up in his lab listening to this, Seth has a thought. Carol, bring him up to the lab and see if you can grab Portal on your way.
she just like, I'm just gonna like absentmindedly like tap the calm to acknowledge and not actually say anything out loud. I'm just going to go off the assumption that you are telling the truth. This will either make or break everything about this situation.
I understand.
Going off the base that you are telling the truth, I'm gonna need you to come with me upstairs, downstairs, up. What?
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, downstairs first.
Have to go down to go up.
You got to go down to go up.
Doors are so confusing. I'm gonna need you to come with me to the lab, and I need you to think very hard about which of your enemies would try to mastermind this sort of situation. And just go ahead and assume they happen to be a Stormer as well and haven't publicly manifested anything yet.
I mean, my first thought would be either the big brain or the Grandmaster. But
who are these actual people? And those are villains. Those are villains. We don't know the actual people behind them. What enemies do you as Max Mars have? Not supervillains. Because all of this is very targeted to you and not exactly the heroes.
Are we walking and talking?
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that. Which floor is the med bay? Is that 3? Or wait. Oh no. Roberta, where's the med lab? Can you just
he will lead you.
He knows where you're going.
Yeah, so
Don't forget to ask Portal to join us. Seth would ask, but Portal doesn't listen to him, so.
Professor, do you want me to come with you too?
You're already here, son.
Oh, I thought we were going to the medical bay.
No. Here.
Cool.
Like, I don't know what to do with this child. No, sit. You're not a dog.
You're good. You're fine. Just
By the way, as soon as Portal has the opportunity, he's going to contact Bulwark to make sure he and his granddaughter are okay, and to give them a heads up that someone's taking control of Stormers.
Okay. Yeah, he will tell you that you know they've been fine, no one's bothered them, that Lisa is still in medical custody.
I want to know that story. The person who watches Lisa overnight at the medical facility.
Right?
Blog post.
Yeah. Colin Trafford was the name of the guy from Redshift, by the way. The Mars is, while you're walking, the only person I can think who, well, there's a couple. Arwin Kessler from Kesscorp, if he had the ability to do this, would absolutely do it. He hates me. The man is arrogant, an asshole, and I have it on good authority, he has fulfilled numerous defense contracts that should not have been filled. Not with the government.
What was that name?
Arwin Kessler of Kesscorp. I mean, I could see Morgenstern doing this as well, but I don't think they have the technology to do anything like this.
You say Morgan Stern?
Morgenstern.
Is either of these names.
But that's all I can think of for now.
So when they reach the lab, Steph will just turn and look at Mars and go, and what about yourself?
What about myself?
It was just gesture to Carol. How much would you hate yourself?
Haven't considered that.
Because Carol, will you see if you can work with Portal and see if you can sense any extra dimensional energy signals coming from these?
Oh my god, step on the cat. I got you. And I'm gonna try to run myself inside the portal.
Well, you grabbed Portal, right?
Yeah, I'm there, so I'm like,
okay, yeah, cool.
someone
Just talk through
explain to
that
me
part.
what's going on.
So, like, you think Max Mars from another dimension is doing this?
Hold
All
on,
right, I
what
forgot
now?
you were in the room.
Really smart kid. I like
Hold
you.
on, what now?
Portal, let's practice on your new ability stuff that we've been working on.
How about you bring me up to speed first?
Professor Cephalopod thinks Max Mars from another universe is trying to kill everybody.
Oh, okay, you're gonna have to.
Why did you think that?
That was a leap. That was a leap.
To be specific.
Max laughs at that.
That was a leap, but we need to double check to make sure it's not that.
To be
So
specific.
why does he think that? Why does Professor Cephalopod think that?
To be specific, I believe that it is possible that an extra dimensional commander is.
Okay.
I was being captured by somebody called the Commander. Well, not being captured, I was technically fully captured by somebody called the Commander.
And
Okay.
Max knowing.
No. It all makes sense.
Max intimately knowing the commander of this dimension, this universe.
Everything makes sense now.
Max pulls out, he reaches into his pocket, pulls out his cell phone, taps at him for a second, holds up a picture of the commander as when he was the commander.
Yeah.
And shows it to Singulariteen. Does this match what you saw?
Does it match what I saw?
It's very similar, except that the commander you saw was distinctly more feminine shaped to the armor.
Uh-huh.
No. The commander who had me was a lady. Or curvy? I don't know.
The armor.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I read about this in an Iron Man comic book once. What if the commander armor came to life and is in love with you now, Max Mars, and it's jealous?
Okay, well, there are comic books and then there's real life. We're going to stick to the real life stuff.
We'll look into that after the extra dimensional. Because I'm going to be honest, that's as far-fetched as anything we've been dealing with lately.
Joe?
There was that 300-foot tall vampire thing.
Joe?
Yes.
Remind me next week to give you a hero point for that line. There are comic books and then there is real life.
Yep. And this is real life.
Yeah, you even made my husband laugh. So I should get an extra half a hero point.
So
it's unlikely to matter tonight, which is why I don't want to just give it to you, but remind me next week that you have a hero point coming to you.
So, yeah, I guess I will work with Carol, and I will spend a hero point to power stunt to gain dimensional sense, sense dimensional energy.
Sure. And you certainly have enough points if you're power stunting off of your primary portal power that it could have all sorts of extended range and everything.
Yeah.
How does assists work in the system again?
So in this circumstance, I would allow you to make probably a expertise metahuman physiology. The difficulty would be 10. Depending on how much you beat that 10 by, which you can't fail to hit a 10, you would add to the perception roll that he would make.
Could I also aid Aaron? Since I've got wormhole powers?
You do. Sure.
Can I just roll?
Thanks, Portal Junior.
Actually, it's Singulariteen now.
Sure it is.
All right, so Joe, you got a 14 on metahuman physiology. So that will give a +2 to Portal's perception.
And I got a 14 on a perception check to help.
So another +2. So yeah, make a perception check at +4, Portal.
That's a 27.
That is a 27.
Because
Natural
it's a natural 20.
You are quite certain that at the moment there are you are getting extra dimensional readings from Carol.
Ow.
Right, my bad.
Bright light.
And you're aware that Singulariteen is able to open wormholes, connecting two spots together. But other than that, you do not think that there is anything else extra dimensional happening within, a good 10-mile radius of the city.
Mile radius of the city?
Like 10 miles beyond city limits.
Yeah, that's a large area. Cool. But that's still not getting out into the ocean where motherfucker flew off. I'm sorry, where Portal.
You are a coastal city, so I'm going 10 miles out into the ocean.
That's still me.
No, you'll still not find any signs of extra dimensional stuff. So you are fairly certain that either it has nothing to do with another dimension, or if it is someone who's from another dimension, they've been here long enough that they've gone native, basically.
Max.
Or they've used tech to mask their signal.
Max, I have a delicate question, but we need to explore all options.
Of course.
Is it possible that you could have a child that you don't know about?
No.
Do you have a child that you do know about?
No. I had that surgically taken care of some time ago.
Nip
Okay.
snip, because that's even then not 100%.
So we've still got clone as a possibility.
Yeah. Well, we have
Who-
Sue coming to life is a possibility.
Other than yourself, who has had access to the commander suit, to the schematics, to the nanites that build it?
Riley.
To the suit? Me. There were samples of the nanites that had been turned over to Redshift to see about adapting into a clean energy source, which I've told you before.
I saw Mrs. Blackwell, right? Does she have a similar body type to the commander I saw?
Not entirely dissimilar, but I mean, you're a 14-year-old boy. Women with curves, you know.
They're all the same.
They do something funny to my blood in my body.
Yeah, basically.
There's
Oh,
so
dear.
many boys at the dojo dealing with that right now. It's hilarious.
You get the feeling that the commander was bigger, but that could also just be the nightmarish sense of presence. You know, maybe the commander was like 5'2", but had a larger than life presence to you because they were in your mind.
Portal Junior, what was the experience like? Were you getting mental commands? Were you aware at all of what, like, so it seems like you were aware at least somewhat of what was going on occasion. Was it mental commands, or was it just like Puppet Master taking over?
It was kind of like somebody had a GameCube controller and I was doing whatever they said. Except I'm 14, I don't know what a GameCube is.
Okay. Did they seem to have anything they were using to control you all?
Not as far as I could tell, but all they really wanted us to do was train.
Yeah.
With our
I will
powers.
look over. I'm going to look over to Max and say, is it possible that your suit or a variation on your suit would control nanites? Could the suit itself be the controller?
It's not a function of the suit that I would have ever. I mean, the suit is endlessly adaptable. So is it possible? Yes. Is it a function of the suit as I used it or was aware of how to use it? No. He also then pulls his phone back out and switches it over, and there's a closed circuit camera feed, and you can see the suit standing in a case.
Yeah, no. And it's not so much that I'm thinking it's your actual suit, but if it's got the same abilities, if it's also a nanite suit, that it might be able to do the same things.
What if Centurion knocked a piece off of it and it like came to life separate from the rest of the suit?
I mean, suppose that's possible.
You got beat up a lot, right?
No, I held my own.
This is not the time. Young man, when you were under control, were there voices in your head? Or did you just do?
Voice in my head? Were there voices in my head?
I kind of look over at Professor Cephalopod like, really?
No, it was much more of a just do.
I just did. It was like I was thinking my own thoughts, but I was thinking somebody else's thoughts at the same time.
Interesting. Okay. For those of you who are confused, I'm attempting to figure out if we're dealing with one person or multiple.
Do you remember at all your surroundings? Any details might be able to at least narrow down from anywhere and everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't really remember anything of that. Just pain and fear, mostly.
Well, perhaps you'll remember more after a good night's sleep.
But we are going to have to put you in stasis.
What?
Well, Ethan's already tried to kill him once. We need to take off the helmet for his own safety.
Singulariteen.
Yeah.
You would be aware that the way your powers work, as long as you are aware of this possibility, you would actually... Your defensive role is not rolling with the punch, it is using wormholes to avoid attacks.
Mm.
You think that as long as you were aware of this possibility, which you are, you would have your full defensive role against that attack in the future.
I think I'll be okay. At least until we can come up with another solution.
I'm working on that.
Bar him anymore than he's been.
Tell you what. We'll spar. We need to see that your powers are up to what you say they are.
A good night's sleep, though.
I'm not gonna hurt him. We're just sparring.
Carol gets a private channel message. I think someone's jealous.
My wrist.
I don't want to hurt you, Portal.
I'm not worried about that. We're not looking to hurt each other. We're just testing out, seeing the extent of your powers and the control you have of them.
Can you do something like fireworks? That's not really a singularity thing, but like be flashy and show off. Like show us what you can do.
So I don't like make portals. I make black holes.
It sounds to me as if he has had more training than most of us have.
But if it'll make you feel better, Mr. Portal, we could fight.
Mr. Portal.
You don't want to fight. Let me be clear. Sparring is different. We're not trying to hurt each other. It's like I don't know, a karate class. Testing out moves, seeing how you can do, trying to work against each other, but not hurt each other.
Do you want to have a race? Maybe that'll work.
I'm more interested in seeing your ability to evade attacks to make sure you actually are safe from Crucible.
How about I set up an obstacle course in our not danger room, and you can race through that, and you'll have to deal with dodging attacks and
Perfect.
other things.
And I can run it with you if you want, or you can run it on your own, whichever you're more comfortable with.
Oh no, you wanted the competition. You both have to run it now.
I didn't want a competition, but okay.
Just over at the computer now, ticking away.
She's kind of like our mom, isn't she?
We call her Murder Mom.
What?
Come on, Portal Junior.
What? This poor kid.
I guess I'll go stand on the beginning of the obstacle course dais.
I guess I will too.
All right. Because the GM is not prepared for this,
I can't imagine.
No,
why
you
not.
wouldn't say.
we are going to narratively say that it is very obvious that Kid Singularity has more power than control.
Does he have enough control, though?
What?
Does it have enough control, though? That's the big question.
Yeah, you think so. I mean, his defenses are probably equal to, the strength of Kione or Crucible's force fields.
Okay.
The bigger issue is, like I said, more power than skill. You actually suspect that power-wise, he's probably more powerful than most of you. He just doesn't have the skill to effectively use that power yet.
Okay.
His nanates were on longer, so.
Also true.
Kid, I'm not gonna lie. You've got potential. Serious potential. And yeah, I think you're gonna be okay while we try and figure this out.
Chris will sort of puff his chest out when Portal says that.
Oh.
Well, I am the Singulariteen.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go with Port.
No. You do not get to name things. You're very bad at naming things.
You're not there.
I'm always
from the command
there.
room. There is absolutely an intercom button for us to talk to you guys.
Let's get you to a bedroom. You need some rest.
Yeah, a bed would be nice. I have the feeling that the commander just put us in a closet and made us stand around for a few hours.
Like the
All right.
Borg.
So I think as our heroes try to get some sleep and some rest and finish healing up the damage they've taken, that is a pretty good place for us to go ahead and wrap it for tonight. As I get the terrible looks from my players of like, no!
I want to know what happened to Crucible.
No, you don't.
He's in the Borg closet now.
Yep.
He's in the Borg closet, that's right.
So, I would like to thank our audience for sticking with us tonight. My players love to keep me on my toes, so I hope that this is half as entertaining for you as it is for me. Because, wow, do they never do anything that I actually thought they were going to.
Damn it,
But
Alex.
that's a good thing.
Aaron,
Damn it, Alex.
Trying to kill a teenager, jeez Louise.
Aaron gave me the
Look
choice.
at Alex!
And I was like,
Yeah,
Aaron,
I
was like, Aaron, if I'm gonna be the bad guy, I'm not gonna be a pussy bad guy.
Yep. So tomorrow is May the 4th, which if you are a Star Wars nerd, you would realize is May the 4th be with you.
And
In
also with
honor
you.
of that, Alex will be running a special limited series Star Wars game right here on our channel. It'll be a Star Wars game using mutants and masterminds, which I will let him describe in more detail as I pass it around. Of course, we'll have a new blog post up on Thursday. New episodes get posted to YouTube from YouTube to our website on Friday. And next Monday, we have more Guardians of Haven, which I still haven't watched last night. So I understand that Alex put them through the ringer last night. I look forward to watching that tomorrow.
Fucking Alex.
Yeah.
I'm going for a hat trick tomorrow.
And then, of course, we'll be back here next Tuesday for more City of Destiny with very special guest star Singulariteen.
For the foreseeable future.
Might become a permanent character. We don't know yet.
We'll see.
Man.
So I will pass it off to my players so that they can promote anything they'd like to promote and say their goodbyes. And we will start with Alex, since I know he has something to promote.
Yeah, so tomorrow we will be doing Star Wars. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's called The Most Dangerous Game, and it is about a group of bounty hunters who are hired by Emperor Palpatine to scour the Outer Rim for a Jedi general. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think there's gonna be some twists that people aren't expecting, and I'm very excited.
We're gonna kill Obi-Wan.
Poor Obi-Wan.
No.
Yeah, and if you're not a part of the Mutants and Masterminds Patreon yet, now is the great time to get involved. We're doing Multiverse May, where the developers are all coming up with their own alternate Freedom City universe, and I cannot wait until you all find out what mine is. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm sure it's terrible.
Yes.
It's actually not dark and scary, but it could be terrible in other ways.
I
don't believe.
think I've heard that before.
Don't we see your alternate Freedom City every week?
That is true. We do see one of my alternate Freedom Cities every week, but the Earth I've come up with is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Sign up for the Patreon if you haven't yet, and I'll pass it over to Wiki.
So I will be on the one shot tomorrow. I will be playing a grumpy, slightly damaged murder bot.
Accurate.
So that'll be fun. And stuff. And let's see. I'll pass it over to Brandon.
I will also be in the limited run. I'm not going to jinx it and call it by that other phrase. I will be playing a Mandalorian who did a mostly okay job fixing up his murder bot, but it doesn't really follow directions. It's very much got a mind of its own. And in lieu of my usual read a book, thank a teacher. It's Teacher Appreciation Week. And I will pass it off to, I think I have to go around the void and pass it to Joe.
There goes. Make art and please stay hydrated. It's better for the entire world. And I'm going to shoot it back to Aunt Puppy.
Am I here? Am I
Yes.
here?
Yes.
So before I lose you guys again, I have two things. One thing is happy birthday to my little sister. Today is her birthday. And the second thing is happy anniversary to my husband, which our anniversary is Star Wars Day tomorrow. So, and then also play a game.
All right.
That was 3 things.
Sorry. I don't have my sign behind me this time.
She's been in the void most of the night. We can give her a
Yeah, I
little leeway. All right. Again, thank you all so much for spending your evening with us. It is our honor and our pleasure to be able to play this game for your entertainment. and our own. And we will see you all next week. Thank you so much.